Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, the last two nights, the Tigers bats came alive. Tigers hitters pounded Chicago pitching to the tune of 25 runs on 40 hits. The hope is the Tigers brought those same bats back home to Comerica Park. Welcome to the ballpark tonight. Game one in the series featuring the Tigers and the visiting Rangers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Kirk Gibson. Glad to have you with us for Game 1 in this four-game series versus the Rangers. And really, the last couple of nights, the Tigers bats came alive. A lot of energy in that ball game in that series against the Cubs, Gibby.
Well, you know, Mario, whenever you hit the ball like that, you're going to have energy. But it's good to see the way they ran the bases so aggressively. And it worked out so good for them. Everybody got in on the party. You got Miguel Cabrera back. Brings length back to that lineup. Very dominating. They just wore the Cubs down. Finished strong, a 5-5 trip. They wish they had better, but for that tough trip, not bad.
Not bad at all. And Nick Castellanos, he is really starting to improve now. Had a big series against the Cubs, and really the last couple of months he's come on.
Yeah, he has. You know, I was down in the minors last week, and I'm looking, who's impact player? Nick Castellanos. He's really starting to look at that. You see, second most among the third baseman, 30 RBI since July 1st. He's really starting to hit. He's got his calm feet. He had the big 4-hit game last night, a couple of doubles, a couple of home runs, 5 RBI. His confidence is raising, and that's good news for the Tigers.
And we are just minutes away from Game 1 in this four-game series featuring the Tigers and the Texas Rangers. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Justin White. But coming up in this one tonight, we got a couple of bashers. Two guys that have over 400 home runs in their career. Adrian Beltre and Miguel Cabrera. They'll square off next. Tigers, Rangers coming up. road. The Tigers are back here at Comerica Park, and right-hander Alfredo Simon tuning up on the hill, getting set to face the Texas Rangers. He is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
His 23rd start. Had a fast start to the season, struggled a bit lately. Fastball splitter, high percentage of splits, almost 37%. And looking for 6+ innings or more.
Here's the starting lineup he will face today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Rangers, it looks like this. It'll be DeShields, Chu, and Fielder in the top 3 spots, followed by Beltre cleaning up, Mitch Moreland at first, Elvis Andrus the shortstop, Odor, Venable, and Jimenez the bottom 3 for Texas. And we are ready for baseball tonight. Glad you are with us this evening. And the first one is in there. A strike called on Delino DeShields Jr. .263 batting average for DeShields. 1 home run. He's knocked in 25 this year. Simon with the 0-1 pitch. Here we are nearly to the month of September. It's our first look at the Texas Rangers. 4-game series here this weekend. Here's the 1-1 to DeShields. And he sends a ground ball to short. Routine there for Iglesias. 1 gone. Here's the Tigers defense, presented by Beaumont Health. For the Tigers ghosts in the middle of the outfield, Davis, Martinez at the corners, Castellanos at third base, Iglesias the shortstop, Kinsler, Vmart, got Simon and McCann.
Look at the Texas lineup. They have 4 lefties in there. Alfredo Simon has had trouble with lefties, so it's important that he contains them. Shin-Soo Choo is one of them.
Lefties this year batting .307 against Alfredo Simon, and that really has been an issue.
Well, we've talked about how he's not a real strike thrower, so it's very important that he doesn't walk somebody before he gets to a lefty and maybe gives something up.
Chu hammers it back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shin-Soo batting .246.
Don't want to say this name fast, do I?
No, you might want to take it slow.
Been a while, been off for a week or so, so we're going to take her easy.
Just go with Chu. You'll be all right. There's a strike called right at the belt, and the count goes 1-2 on Chu. Simon has allowed 10 runs in his last 2 starts. Hopefully much better here tonight. Here's the 1-2. Popped him up. Shallow center field for Anthony Gose. 2 gone.
Well, Alfredo Simon has really given the Tigers some good innings early in the games, but has struggled later in the games. And hopefully tonight he can extend the good early innings.
Here is the return of Prince Fielder, who gets his first at bat tonight.
Got a couple of boos. What's that about?
A little bit of a frosty reception for Fielder. He's had quite a year. .324 batting average for Prince. Missed it high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Fielder 69 RBIs. Here's how they play him defensively.
Not a full shift, but everybody's kind of over to the right side.
He'll slice it foul the other way.
Well, we know that back in the day in the playoffs, he didn't have a very good playoffs. We're talking about Fielder, and he made a statement. I think he was just frustrated and it came out the wrong way, but fans let him know they didn't forget it.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Yeah, there seemed to be a bit of a disconnect between Fielder at the end of the ALCS against Boston in 2013 and the Tigers fans.
Yeah, and I think that we all say some things along the way that we regret or wish we would have said them a little differently, and this may be one of them for Prince.
Bouncing ball to first. He hit it right at Martinez, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Alfredo Simon. Nice start to this one tonight. Tigers getting set to hit. The Tigers starting lineup presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and it looks like this. Rajai Davis in the leadoff slot. He'll play in left, followed by Kinsler and Cabrera. Victor Martinez at first base tonight. J.D. Martinez in right. You got Nick Castellanos, had a big night last night in Chicago. He's at third. McCann, Iglesias, Ghost. Bottom three for the Tigers in this one here today. They are facing the left-handed offerings of Martin Perez.
Yeah, his seventh start coming back from last year's Tommy John surgery. Throws a lot of ground balls. Has a high percentage of ground balls in his repertoire. Averaged about 7 innings over his last 3. And he likes the changeup as well. Throws a lot of off-speed pitches and occasional curveball to go along with his fastball.
He is 25 years old, a native of Venezuela, and he will face Rajai Davis to get it started here. Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera. Raj batting .249, 4 home runs. He hit one out of Wrigley Field last night. It seemed like everybody was hitting home runs in that 2-game series.
Yeah, what a series. I was listening, and supposedly when the wind blows across Wrigley, it's not supposed to carry, but Tigers proved that wrong.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rajai Davis. Here's the 1-1 from Perez. High, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Also in this game today, I know you guys got in really late last night, about 3:30 or so. So guys probably went to bed around 4, and got to get the rust off on days like today. Get loosened up. Raji leading it off here, can have a good influence on that.
Swing and a miss, 2-2 on Rajai Davis. Well, the game went nearly 4 hours last night in Chicago with all the offense the Tigers were putting up. By the time we got to the plane, got back here in the Motor City, and got home, most guys after 4.
Something wrong here?
Looks like there might be. He's trying to walk something off.
Tigers have just lots of injuries recently, and it's what happens when you get wore down. You go on a 3-city trip, 8 games in 10 days. The long ones in Chicago, you worry about injuries with limited time to recover.
Ripped to left field, but foul.
Take a look at the previous pitch from Raj. Looks like he felt a little something, big swing and miss.
Lifted in the air toward right field, and back goes the second baseman Odor to the grass to make the catch. Here's the defensive alignment for Texas in this one, brought to you by Tim Hortons. DeShields in center, Venable, the newly acquired Venable in left, and Chu in right. Beltre, Moreland on the corners. Andrews, Odor up the middle. Jimenez, Perez, your battery. 89 errors this season, 3rd most in Major League Baseball. And so while the Rangers are in the thick of the wild card chase, they've not been getting it done with their defense.
Tigers have been pretty good defensively on the other hand, and that makes it tough on your pitching for sure.
Ian Kinsler rolls one to third base, where Beltre, one of the best in the business, resides. 2 gone. Well, we mentioned the wild card, so it bears looking at. The Tigers, with their 2 wins in Chicago, 4.5 back now. This Texas team 1.5 back.
So 3 back. You've got a 4-game series, and you're hoping that you at least can gain 1 game on the Rangers. The split will do, but it's getting late in the season. You want to start picking up games when you can. You're in your head-to-head battles.
Toronto and the Angels holding on to the top 2 spots for the wild card. Here is Cabrera.
We'll see both of those clubs coming up. Angels next week here, and then on to Toronto next weekend.
Perez ready with the 0-1. And Miggy looks at a ball low.
Miggy's first game back here at Comerica since coming off the disabled list. It seems like he's been playing a while, doesn't he?
Because we've been on the road forever. He came back in that Houston series. Tigers went to KC, Houston, and then on to Chicago.
It's amazing he didn't take a rehab start. It took him 1 game here with the Tigers to get locked in.
Normally, Gibby, when you miss as much time as he has, a minor league rehab is pretty much in the offing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, except for special guys and people of this ability and Miggy. And I'm sure he had a lot to say to Brad about that. I'm sure Brad asked him about it. As long as Miggy felt comfortable with it, they're going to go. I think they're just very smart by making him the DH today. You know, it wasn't that long ago that cap was keeping him out of the lineup. Don't want to push him too hard, too fast.
Perez came inside again, goes 3-2 now.
Perez throws a lot of pitches, fastballs in, breaking in on the right-hander's hands, trying to set up that changeup away. And he's got a very good one.
So Cabrera gets wound up for a 3-2. Here it comes. And he walked it, ball 4. 2-out walk for Cabrera. Jeff Bannister is the new skipper for the Texas Rangers. He spent the last 4 years as the bench coach for Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's had good tutelage, good training. Clint Hurdle's come a long way. He's learned a lot through his various stops. Manager, I managed against him in Colorado, and then on to Pittsburgh, and he reinvented himself with the analytics, etc. And I know Jeff did a good job there, and on to his new opportunity, and he's learned a lot in a very quick time, I'm sure.
Victor Martinez takes strike 1.
When you're a new manager and you walk out to make that first pitching change, it's a little different feel, I'm going to tell you.
Imagine. Of course, the Rangers had a lot of success under Ron Washington. For so many years, they got to the World Series with Wash as their skipper. The 0-1 spins him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rangers are without Josh Hamilton, who was placed on the disabled list today, so that's one of their big bats that is gone.
Yeah, it is, but they picked up Will Venable, as you said earlier, and they're hoping to get through this without Hamilton. I know their general manager, John Daniels, pretty good, and he's on top of those things, how to fill in the holes. And I've had a personal encounter with him or two. We're not going to talk about it now, but maybe I'll tweet about it later.
You were telling me about those personal encounters a little bit earlier.
Good times.
I think it would be worth tweeting about.
Yeah, it definitely would. Trust me.
Your followers would go through the roof. Now the set in the 1-2. He fought that one off. Victor stays alive. He does that maybe as good, if not better, than anybody in the big leagues. The ability to take that borderline pitch and just fight it off.
You don't try and put every ball in play, and if that play there or that pitch there is kind of in on his hands, so you see him just keep his hands in, foul the pitch off, lets it get deep, make sure he identifies what the pitch is. Now he lives for a nicer, juicier pitch. Hopefully, the pitcher makes a mistake.
2-2. Victor let out a yelp.
Thought it had him right in the ribs. And that's a good sequence here by the Rangers. They're making a statement here and doubled up inside. One was on the plate, and then here he's got a 1-2 count, so he goes in off the plate. Got to believe maybe he's looking for that changeup away now. Catcher wanted to go in. Looks like the pitcher wants to go away. Soft stuff.
Rolled foul. 2-2, the count stays on Victor Martinez, who was really pretty much relegated to the bench in that series in Chicago with no DH. Victor got a couple of at-bats. That was it in a pinch hitting role.
You know, probably couldn't have worked out any better for the Tigers because Victor got the time off. He probably didn't hurt him, and he got an at-bat in each game. So he stayed fresh, and here he's back in his normal spot. Today, actually not his normal spot. He's at first today, but it gives Miggy a little bit of a break.
And now Perez trying to wiggle through the two big hitters in this lineup. Has gone 3-2 now on Martinez.
He's got a couple of big ones behind Victor. JD Martinez, and then Nick, who's really been hot.
No score. Bottom of the first. A 2-out walk to Miguel Cabrera. Now 3-2 on Martinez.
You look at Nick there. He looks like he's ready to hit right now. When you're hitting like he is, that's get anxious to get up there.
Ground ball towards short, out of the reach. Elvis Andrus into left center. Cabrera's on his way to third. He'll get there. It's a 2-out single for Victor Martinez.
That's a good at bat right there. Perez threw Victor everything but the kitchen sink. I think that's a change up there on a 3-2 count. Maybe threw many balls inside earlier in the AB. Victor's a pretty smart hitter. Fouled the pitches off, got the base hit, first and third now for the Tigers.
That was an 8-pitch at bat for Victor Martinez, and the two guys, Cabrera and Victor, combined for 14 pitches. So two really good at bats here in the first inning have set up J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, when you have a good series like they did against the Cubs, you hope that you come home and you carry it on. So far, it's looking pretty good.
J.D. takes ball one in the dirt. 289. Martinez hit a 2-run homer yesterday for the Tigers. It was his 32nd of the year.
That's exceptional. He's ahead of his pace from previous years, and he just keeps getting better. The confidence is growing in all these youngsters.
MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Victor, or I should say J.D. Martinez, who leads Major League Baseball with hard hit balls put in play this season. 40, almost 45%. The league average is upper 20s.
Yeah, lots of damage from J.D. Very dangerous behind Victor. The Martinez brothers, right?
Yeah, they are the Martini. Here's the ball low, and the count goes 2-1.
You know, when you look at hitters, the way they take pitches, and Miguel Cabrera is the best that you'll see. When he takes it, he doesn't flinch at all, puts their foot down, the shoulder doesn't open up at all, and you watch J.D. more and more, you're going to see the same thing out of him.
Got him on the outside corner.
Well, that time he flinched a little bit. He was thinking about it, but the ball moved down the way, and he held up.
That is a 2-2 count. The scoreboard had 2-2 before that pitch. So it's even now. Looked a little low.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch, but you don't want to swing at that. You're not going to do anything with it. There is a hole over there between first and second, though.
Fouled away. Well, you were talking about Martinez and his projected numbers this year and what he's on pace for. 43 homers and 109 in the RBI column.
Not bad.
Not bad at all, and certainly a career year for Martinez.
Well, I think this kid can get better and better. His outfield play has been very good this year. You always ask yourself, where can you improve? You know, where can J.D. improve? And I would say all areas of the game, there's still room up top.
Well, here are the numbers compared to last year at this time. And look at the home run numbers.
He's way over there. The RBI much better with runners in scoring position than in the past. And this was the last couple series, and that's a bomb right there, straightaway center. Not many balls go up there.
2 home runs in that Cubs series.
How did the new stadium look?
Looked nice. That is rolled foul. Now, there was one drawback to the construction that is still ongoing at Wrigley Field.
I heard.
They took the elevator out.
I think that's good.
Why is it good?
Because you guys get some exercise in as well as you do your job.
Said the guy who was not trudging his stuff up about 6 ramps in 85-degree weather and humidity.
Multitasking, love it. There you see Miggy and Victor, first and third.
And he walked him. That's going to load the bases. And with 2 outs, nobody on, the Tigers now have loaded him up, and this is turning into a nightmarish inning for Perez.
Well, his pitch count is going up. He's now at 29. These are good at bats. I mean, it's not like he's not throwing good quality pitches. Tigers aren't biting. They're feeling that confidence carrying over from the last series, and they're onto that changeup. He's not. That's the pitch he's not getting over, and they're not chasing.
I think, Gibby, this is a really good example of what the presence of Miguel Cabrera can mean to a lineup, because he had 2 out, nobody on, was certainly real careful in what he wanted to do to Miggy, and ended up walking him.
I agree, and you know, commenting with you and I talking earlier, without Miggy, everybody was moved up in the lineup, so the bottom of the lineup got shorter, but now You've got Victor in there. You got JD. You got Nick now. He's down a little further, and he's got a chance. These guys can all do damage. So you're walking guys. You got guys that can do damage, and that really hurts you.
Well, here's Castellanos, who had the grand slam in Chicago. He's got a chance here with the bases full, 2 outs. And he looks at a strike right at the knees, 0-1. Tigers trying to assert themselves early in this game and keep the offense rolling. It was an offense that really beat up on Chicago's pitching.
I mean, every inning they were on him.
The 0-1. Castellanos now 13 home runs.
Yeah, right there. Started off with the fastball away and now goes right to the changeup. So I mean, he showed Nick both pitches that he throws most of the time already in this count. The count.
Two and one on Castellanos.
Nibbler.
That's never a good thing when the bases are loaded.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to throw it over sometime. Fish aren't biting. Crowd's coming alive here. Yeah, that's what you say from the dugout when guys nibble like that. Throw it over. He won't hurt you, right?
Meanwhile, the second baseman Odor came out to the mound to have a brief chat with Perez.
By the way, you wouldn't want to have a nickname like that.
Nibbler?
Nibbler.
No. Now the 2-1. Line to center field. That's going to drop. Base hit. 1 run scores. Victor coming to third. They're going to stop him there. Cabrera comes in to make it 1-0 Detroit.
Talk about what's going to happen. You don't throw the ball over the plate. Like you say, you pitch around Miguel Cabrera, and then here come the guys behind him. Ball's on the outside part of the plate, maybe a little bit off, but Nick has such good length in that swing. Look how his bat finishes straight towards the pitcher, doesn't pull off it. Plate's biggie. Tigers up 1-0.
Boy, is Castellanos red hot. 8 RBIs in his last 3 games. He is 6 for 10 in that stretch. And the Tigers have made Perez pay for the 2 walks in this inning. One of them has come around to score as James McCann stands in. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
He was ready there. Good aggressive swing, like it.
McCann comes in batting .342 versus left-handed pitching this year. And this is about to be the 35th pitch of the inning for Perez. And he missed with it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, there are a lot of hitters in the Tigers lineup that like the lefties. McCann, Castellanos, actually JD Martinez. Pretty good. Mickey, obviously he likes them, huh?
He likes pitching, period.
He likes everybody.
He just loves pitching. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bouncing ball right side. It'll be gobbled up there by Odor, and that'll end the inning. So minimal damage done. The Tigers leave them loaded. We'll go to the second. Tonight is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. And by Pringles Potato and Tortilla Chips. Pringles, you don't just eat them. Nice crowd here at the ballpark today. You had a lot of the youngsters on the field before the game today. And they are hoping the Tigers can show up with a win here tonight in game one in this 4-game series.
Always fun. Do you remember coming down to the ballpark when you were a youngster?
I do, but I never had a chance to go on the field.
I didn't either, but I got the bat, the free bat on bat day. You ever go to that?
Absolutely. Well, those were the real
Louisville's,
yeah, the legit ones.
Good to bang on the cement floor, make a lot of noise, irritate all the adults.
Yeah, that was great. Beltre is leading things on. Do you remember the name that was on the first bat you got at bat day?
I do not.
Mine was
Louisville Slugger.
No, but there was a Tiger's name on it, not Louisville Slugger.
It was on there.
Mine was Dick McCullough. There's a ball inside.
I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I could make something up, but I wouldn't do that to you.
No, you never do that.
No. Only for benefit.
Beltre, Moreland, Andrews here in the second facing Simon. Pulled to third base, and Castellanos has stepped to his right here. One out. Nick's been pretty good down there here in the second half this year, third.
He certainly has.
Hey, by the way, stay tuned for Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Steak and Egg Burritos. Here is Mitch Moreland as they employ the shift, and that means Castellanos will head to the other side and play in short right field.
I think he has bunted one time against this shift. That's why they leave Iglesias over there at shortstop. Now he's got a strike on him. He'll retreat.
One run, 2 hits for the Tigers. They left them loaded, though, in the bottom of the first. Simon has retired 4 straight to start this game. That one sails up and into Moreland. Mitch having one of his better seasons. He has 18 home runs, career high in homers and RBIs this year.
And for a big guy, he hasn't really had big home run totals in his career, but has become a much better hitter for sure.
2-1. Yeah, Moreland right now at 294 overall. He's had a really good month of August. Now Simon ready with the 2-1. 3-1. Elvis Andrews on deck.
Well, if you're the hitter right now and you look out there and you see the shift, you know, what do? You try and go the other way. I think you're playing right into the team's hand, because your strength, obviously, by the numbers, shows that you're a pull hitter. So I think you try and elevate this on the pull side.
Pulled to the right side, right at Kinsler, right through Kinsler. He'll stay with it, and he is safe at first base. Wow. Yeah, Ian had a couple of errors in Chicago.
He did, didn't he? He had 2 in one game. Now another one tonight. He's been very solid for the Tigers this year. He's a pro. He'll overcome it. You got to get it out of your head. Sometimes you fight yourself. Start thinking about it. But he's got enough experience to move on. You can turn the double play right here if you can get it.
That'll be the first base runner of the game for Texas. Elvis Andrews will step in. Elvis, over his last 12 ball games, hitting just .227. Up and in. 1 ball to no strikes on Andrews.
Yeah, Moreland really not a threat to run. He does have 1 stolen base, but I don't think you're going to see him going here. Andrews does have the ability to hit behind the runner, though, between first and second. Goes to right field a lot.
Ooh, up and in again. Chin music.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've seen Alfredo Simon. He goes through stretches where he struggles with his command. Let's just lose the release point or start rushing. McCann goes out there quickly to try and fix the problem.
4 walks in his last start, Simon. That was in the game at Houston. Now he's gone 2-0 on Elvis Andrus.
It's a tough spot to be in as a pitcher. You're in a good spot if you're the hitter, although you don't want to expand and help the pitcher out.
Drilled to left field on a line. Rajay right at the chest will make the catch. Well, was scalded, but right at him. 2 gone. Time for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving stats, and we'll talk about these Rangers who have really improved since July the 20th. They've gone 18-9.
Yeah, everything's picked up. You look at their numbers; they show it, and they've kind of reinvented their team a bit. Certainly, their bullpen as the years went on, just playing very well under their new manager. Credit to the organization, and they're trying to get to that wild card spot just as the Tigers are.
Rougned Odor looks at a strike 0-1.
You're baiting me, aren't you?
I am baiting you.
Rougned Odor.
Very nicely done. I know coming into this game you were a little worried about pronouncing that first name.
Well, we did a little practice. That doesn't help me usually.
The 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2 on Rougned.
That's the first time I've got a hold of that name, huh? That's a good one.
It's a pretty good one for your first shot. Now Simon has gotten ahead of him.
Good player, good young player, very young, up and coming.
Popped it up, but this will get back in the seats.
Only 21 years old.
He has an uncle that used to play in professional baseball in the minor leagues, so his name was Rouglas.
Is that true?
It's not serious. No, I just made it up.
Say it again.
Rouglas. Rouglas. This is Rougned. There's going to be a quiz after the game.
Excellent.
Here's the 0-2. Missed it inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Like that pitch there. Good pitch inside and hard. Good statement pitch.
Simon got him 1-2-3 in the first. Trying to pitch around an error here in the second. Here's the 1-2. Little chopper foul. Odor had 325 since the All-Star break, so he's turned it up. Got off to a really slow start this year and was sent down to the minor leagues.
That usually helps. You know, it's so overwhelming when you're a young kid, like you said, 21 years old, and then you put pressure on yourself, and it's quick. It's a quick game. Send them down, let them get their feet underneath them, and bring them back. It works well.
1-2 the count stays on Odor. Should he reach Will Venable waiting on deck. Rangers still looking for their first hit in this game. Again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ball was up and out of the zone, and down he goes. No runs, an error. 1 man left. Simon gets through 2. Still 1-0 Detroit. Well, it was great to see the bats certainly came alive in Chicago, and especially this quartet of players. Look at some of these numbers.
Yeah, they're good. That's good music video right there. I really like the drums. The bat drums, that's called. Good music.
Your word for it.
Yeah.
Drilled to center field. On the move is DeShields. One pitch, and Iglesias retired.
That's pretty smart of Iglesias, actually. Perez struggled with the strike zone in the first inning. And Iglesias figured that he's going to try and get a strike down the middle, and he was waiting. Put a good swing on him, hit the ball hard.
Here's Anthony Gose. There literally was not one Tiger that did not get better offensively in Chicago in terms of the numbers. Gose was 5 for 11 in that series.
You know, it wasn't long ago the Cubs were really rolling. Pitching was really running good. Tigers changed that. It's just how it happens to any team. They're all susceptible to it.
Well, they beat up on Jason Hamill in game 1, but then they did it against a very accomplished guy, John Lester, last night.
Well, again, Lester's a lefty, and Tigers are pretty formidable against the left-handed pitchers. Got to throw a lot of pretty good righties at him.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Gose.
Brad has really had to lean on a lot of his players in this through this stretch to play him virtually every day. Sometimes as a manager, you know that maybe you're pushing things a little farther than you want to, but it's that time of the year, and everybody's going to have to suck it up a little bit, play with some nagging injuries. Hopefully they can do something well for their team.
Here's the 2-2. Right off the mask of the catcher, Jimenez.
A wake-up call there.
I can't imagine anybody is 100% physically this time of the year.
Yeah, you get nagging stuff. Stuff shows up when you wake up in the morning or after a game. See the foul tip. You're going to have a little sore neck probably in the morning. Think you'd blink on the next one?
I would. 3-2. The thing I wonder about, whether it's a home plate umpire or a catcher, with all those foul tips you take, what damage it does to the discs in your neck. I mean, if you take a lot of them, certainly there's got to be some wear and tear there.
If you think about it, all over the body. I mean, if a catcher walking through the clubhouse, there's bruises all over, black and blue.
Down goes Gose.
And umpires like to see the catchers be the guy who catches the foul tips.
Bring up Rajay Davis. And we talk about the catchers, but the umpires take the brunt of that too. A lot of times they'll take foul tips.
Well, they like to talk back there, I can tell you that. And the umpires know where the good ones are. Certain catchers, usually the catchers that move up closer to the hitters, they're going to get more foul tips than the guy who's back further.
Deep in the hole, it's short. Jump stop throw by Andrews. What a play that was.
Very good.
Elvis Andrews with a Derek Jeter-like play. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Tigers take a 1-0 lead as we go to the top of the third, and Alfredo Simon goes back to the hill. Will Venable will lead things off for the Rangers. Venable looks to strike.
This is a good pickup for the Rangers after losing Josh Hamilton on the disabled list. This kid has got a lot of ability, having a pretty good year. Doesn't hit lefties real well.
Ground ball, right side of the infield. Kinsler gobbles this one up.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. So far, Alfredo Simon, the split finger fastball, working real well for him here against the Texas Rangers. A lot of movement here. He gets Prince Fielder right there. He's looked at the late movement on all of these pitches. Plus, he's got a speed variation. Gets Chu right here. Then Odor, you can see the grip. So even though it's high, got that movement. Good deception. There you see the splitter usage this season leads the league at 36.1%.
Chris Jimenez stands in. Number 9 hitter, the catcher for Texas. Jimenez at 276. Rolled foul. Every time Jimenez appears in a broadcast or a game that we broadcast, we'll get some people say it's pronounced Jimenez. But it's not, to be honest with you. He pronounces it Jimenez.
Well, we looked it up. Maybe it's supposed to be the other way. I'm not going to say it. Jimenez. Not going to say that. But that's the way he wants it. We'll go with it.
Well, and I think folks get confused sometimes as he goes down swinging. His last name starts with a G and not a J, which is where you look at the Jimenez a lot with the J. 2 gone.
You seemed a little sensitive right there. Somebody must have been in your ear or something.
You're very perceptive. Yeah, when he was with Cleveland, I used to get hammered about that all the time. So now, every time I see Jimenez, I explain that that's how it's pronounced.
Excellent point.
Here is Delino DeShields. He grounded out his first time up. Showing bunt. Strike 1.
Sure, Delino DeShields Sr.'s excited to watch his son play every night. A little different looking, only 5'9", I think, but pretty good build, 210 pounds. Just watched him move down the first baseline on his first at bat. Runs good like his dad.
Senior was in the big leagues for 13 seasons. And a strike called, 0-2.
Look at that splitter move. That ball is just looked like a curveball. I think it's a split.
When you look at it from our angle, from the press box, it does look like a curveball.
It is a curveball. That's why it looks that way. But he's got 3 pitches working for him. That's even better.
Off the plate, 1-2.
Shields looking for the split right there or the curveball. Simon just missed with the fastball. Missed his location just a bit. Wanted it up in the elevation. Up at the top of the zone, and it was down instead.
Mr. Foxtrack said that was a strike. Ron Culpa disagreed. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on DeShields.
Well, the umpires don't miss many per game, actually. I don't know what it is this year, but you'd be surprised. But they also get a 3-inch, I think, leeway. So if it's on the plate and it's 3 inches off the plate, I think it's called a strike. It is a correct call.
Time call to Shields is given time by Ron Culpa. Rangers came in a pretty hot bunch. They were on a bit of a roll, having won 5 of their last 6. That's going to miss inside again. They are 11-6 in the month of August. As you look at some of the rookie ranks for Delino DeShields Jr.
He's up there. 3 first and a second. Don't want to get him on base. He's going to want to run with 2 outs.
3-2. Count stays full on DeShields with 2 outs here in the third. Rangers came into this game averaging a little over 5 runs per game over their last 20 games. And we're used to Texas hitting the long ball. They still do. 24 homers in their last 20 contests.
They have a good ballpark to do it as well. Actually, the right field down there in Texas looks like the old Tiger Stadium right field to an extent. Overhanging right field with the short porch, but a little different ballpark here in Comerica.
Swing and a miss, down he goes. And Alfredo Simon has his third strikeout. He has looked good tonight. 1-2-3, third inning. All right, Justin, thanks. The Yankees a 2-game lead in the American League East. They've kind of retaken command of that division over the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays were on fire, and then they hooked up head-to-head, and the Yankees cooled them down personally, head-to-head. That's what happens. You extend a lot of energy when you get on a big streak like that, a lot of emotion.
Yeah, you wonder if the Blue Jays didn't peak too soon. I mean, they won a lot of games to get back in the race. Who knows? Well,
there's an example of trade deadline day, picking up a club emotionally. Pick up the players they picked up worked very well for them. On their way.
Ian Kinsler starts it off here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 Tigers. And Perez deals low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Take a look here at the AL East. Toronto now 2 games back. Baltimore still staying in there as well. I think that's going to go down to the wire, I believe.
Agreed. Popped him up. Middle of the infield. That is Odor, the second baseman. They had him shifted around, 1 gone. Let's check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Mario, the story of Rangers first-year manager Jeff Bannister is an inspirational one. In high school, he almost lost his leg due to bone cancer. Several surgeries later, they were able to save the leg, and he went on to play college baseball, where during a collision at the plate, he broke 3 vertebrae in his neck. It was actually paralyzed for 10 days. He bounced back from that, was drafted by the Pirates, and had 1 big league at-bat back in 1991. It was a hit. That was his only at-bat. He winds up batting 1,000. 29 years in the Pirates organization as a player and as a coach. He's a first-year manager with the Rangers right now. It's a story of inspiration and perseverance. He told me that 1 hit is all he needed. It's a source of pride and motivation for him every day.
That is a great story, Trev. We thank you. And boy, Bannister, you're talking about overcoming some stuff. But how would you like to bat 1,000 in the big leagues? Pretty good.
Yeah. No failure. Got in there, got your success,
and get out.
Got out there with no failure. Now he's a big league manager, and his club's in the race. That's why you want to stick with it. Sometimes things don't seem like they're what you want them to be, but if you persevere through it, good things can come.
Well, Bannister, 29 years in the Pirates organization as a player and, of course, as a manager in the minor leagues, bench coach, as we mentioned, for Clint Hurdle. And now here he is skippering the Texas Rangers. What a great story.
I'm sure he takes Clint Hurdle's philosophy with him into that dugout. Clint's very positive, very personal to his players, very inspirational. Have you been on his list before, Clint's?
No.
He sends out the quote for the day, or a thought for the day, a positive one. I'm sure there's thousands of people on the list.
2 balls, 2 strikes as Victor Martinez waits on deck. Here's the 2-2 to Miggy. Drilled to right field, slicing. That ball is going to get down. Base hit, maybe more. Now Miggy's going to hold up wisely as he cruises into first with a 1-out single. He's on base for the 2nd time in this game.
He just keeps on rolling. Look at that pitch. He's trying to come inside, and you see Miggy just keep his hands inside. He's so strong. Chu tries to catch up with it out there, but can't. But he does hold Miggy to a single.
A lot of times, people talk about repeating your mechanics as a pitcher, but I think a lot of that applies to hitting too. His swing never seems to change.
No, it doesn't. It's just all good. Yeah, if you want to see what you want to do, just watch him day in and day out. Very consistent.
Now Victor Martinez. That's in there, strike 1.
There's another guy that's pretty good right here, right behind him. He's been much better against left-handed pitchers this year. He's had that trouble with his left knee, and he struggled from the left side.
Victor getting the start at first base here tonight, giving Miggy a break. And that's something Brad Ausmus was pretty adamant about early in the season when he was questioned whether or not eventually Martinez would play any first base. And I don't think Brad wanted to do it. He was talked into it by a couple of his coaches, and Martinez has been able to give Miggy a break or two.
I think V-Mart wants to play over there occasionally as well. It helps his team. It probably helps him. He likes to get on the diamond. He likes to play. Now, if you asked him to catch, you might get a different answer. I don't think you're going to see Victor Martinez catching anytime soon, but first base, not bad.
Yeah, catching days are probably behind him now.
Especially when you have a bad knee like that. It's very tough on your knees.
No balls, 2 strikes on Victor Martinez. We're in the 3rd, 1-0 Tigers. He fouled that one off, just got a piece of it. Victor had a single in the 1st inning after Perez, the lefty, retired. The first 2 batters hit one walk, single, walk, and then a single by Castellanos to score the run.
Here you can see Victor much better against lefties, 365 versus 213 versus righties. Does have 8 home runs though against the right-handed pitchers. That's because you see a lot more of them.
Drill to left field, and it's going to get down. It'll go to the wall. Cabrera's on his way to third base. It's dug up by Venable. It'll be a double for Victor Martinez.
Perez trying to come inside again. Victor is getting pretty quick in there. Look at him pull his hands in. Barrels it. Not lunging at all. Not drifting with his front side. Placed firmly into the corner. Tigers now Cabrera on to third. Victor on to second. Second and third, 1 out. Here we come again.
And J.D. Martinez will be stepping in. He had himself a walk in the 1st inning.
I was talking about the open. This stuff. I mean, just every inning, you just wear the opponent down. You get into a 4-game series like this, get into their bullpen. That bodes well for you as you progress game to game. Advantage Tigers.
Infield coming in a couple of steps.
I'm sure that Tigers are not going on contact. You can look at the shortstop and second baseman. They are not in on the grass with Cabrera running. really no threat to go if the ball's hit on the ground. He'll watch it through.
1 ball, 1 strike on JD.
Ooh, good call there. Favorable call for the Tigers and JD.
.60 now for Martin Perez. He threw 36 to get through the first inning. And he got out of it allowing just the 1 run. Now 2-1.
Well, I think if he is smart, try thinking about walking him and trying to get that double play on Nick Castellanos.
Especially now that he's fallen behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this guy hasn't proven himself.
2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Perez was one of the Rangers' top 5 prospects for 5 straight seasons. He had the Tommy John surgery, as Gibby mentioned a little bit earlier, and he's kind of on the comeback trail from that.
Yeah, it takes a while when you come back from a major surgery to get locked in, especially from Tommy John.
See what he gets here on 3-1. Fell back out of play. Fastball. 3-2. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Full count, 3-2. Alfredo Simon has done the rest for the Tigers. He's been good tonight. Now Jimenez out to the mound.
Yeah, they're not on the same page. Really dangerous to really throw to JD through the Rangers. But that'd be my choice, to be very careful. Base open and possibility of a double play.
Well, it's somewhat of a calculated risk because Castellanos is so hot waiting on deck, but it might be your best chance of getting out of this inning. And he'll walk him to load the bases.
Well, you might think, like I was saying, you can get the double play, but it wasn't very long ago. In fact, it was last night. Nick Castellanos came up with the bases loaded and delivered the grand slam. It's a nice, quick, compact swing. Circle the bases. That's a good feeling there.
Well, the Bernstein advantage brings us our stat tonight in terms of batting average against lefties this year. And Castellanos on a list of pretty impressive hitters.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, he just sees the ball better from the left-hand side. That's pretty true all throughout baseball. If you're a right-handed hitter, you're going to see the lefties better. If you're a left-handed hitter, you're going to see the righties better. But as you progress, you see the, I guess, the distance between left and right shrinks up, and you're probably a little more consistent against both. We'll keep an eye on that for Nick.
Cabrera, Martinez on the bases, as it was back in the first when Castellanos singled to center field to drive in a run.
I know Nick's confident up there right now. Gets a good pitch, he's gonna hammer it.
Ball 1. Here's where numbers can be a little bit head scratching sometimes. That is only the second pitch that he's missed on first pitch strike, so he's 13 of 15, yet he has kind of struggled to get through these 3 innings.
Yeah, you want to look for something up in the strike zone. The Tigers have done a great job of laying off the changeup. They've well scouted Perez going into this game.
Now it's 2-0.
I mean, he tried with the changeup. There was a low fastball. Tigers are just, game plan must be to get the ball up, because they're pretty much taking all the pitches down in the zone. I was walking around the clubhouse before the game today, and all the coaches were putting their boards together, and then they all have their meetings. So obviously the hitters' meetings worked well so far. Almost a balk there.
Perez had a 1-2-3 second. Much different story here in the third. Now the 2-0. Ground ball foul. Both of these rallies for the Tigers starting with Cabrera getting on. He walked in the first and a singled here in the third to get it rolling. Miguel really didn't need much time to come back off the disabled list and get a swing back.
Yeah, that's it's hard to believe, to be honest with you. He's out there having a good time. Well, Adrian Beltre and Miguel have played a lot of games against each other.
Missed again. 3-1. Not an enviable spot here for Martin Perez.
Well, he wants Ron Culpa to give him that pitch. It's right at the bottom of the zone. Good job of taking it. You can't do anything with that pitch.
Castellanos sends a high fly ball to right field. Chu backing up edge of the warning track. That'll score a run as Cabrera comes in. And they're going to call it a catch.
We're going to have an argument here because the rule book says you must take it out of your glove. And he flipped that ball out of his glove and see if Brad goes out.
Doesn't look like he's going to.
We'll take a look. I mean, I got this called on me one time. He obviously caught it, but he flipped it out of his glove. The rule book, and I don't have the 2015 rule book to see the exact language, but it tells you have to have control and you must pull it out with control out of your glove. And he knows it. He's obviously caught the ball, but watch, he flips it out. He doesn't put his hand in there.
Well, he clearly didn't take it out.
I've seen this call go against the defender many times.
And Brad is out to argue it right now with home plate umpire Ron Culpa, who is also the crew chief.
They're looking in. He's looking in to see if he caught it.
Yeah, Gino's telling him that it came out in the exchange, but it looks like that's going to be the end of it.
See if I can get my rule book here and figure that one out.
Get on that, Gibby.
Been a while since I've been in there. I used to read it about once a week.
It'll be a sac fly and an RBI to make it 2-0. McCann will bat now with 2 outs and runners at the corners. And Castellanos now with 60 RBIs. McCann takes ball 1. He bounced out to the second baseman his first time up. And now 70 pitches for Martin Perez, and we have not even gotten through the third. Two and 0.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on this Texas team so far this game by the Tigers.
Well, clearly Perez not going to stick around for the duration tonight. The Rangers going to have to go to the bullpen at some point.
Well, I know his 3 starts ago he had 8 innings and 80 pitches. This is not the case tonight.
Bouncing ball left side. Beltre cuts it off. He'll get the force, and the Tigers get another run. We've played 3 at Comerica now. 2-0 Tigers. see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It is brought to you by T-Mobile. Tigers have added one more run. They lead 2-0. Martin Perez in this game has thrown 30 more pitches than Alfredo Simon. And Simon has gotten help from Castellanos, who's knocked in a couple of runs. Here is Shin-Soo Choo as we go to the fourth.
Let's keep it that way.
In there for a strike on Choo. Only one base runner so far for the Rangers. Moreland reaching on an error in the second. That's it. The 0-1. It's amazing how much more quickly a pitcher will work with nobody on base. And Simon developed a good rhythm tonight. Typically not the case with Alfredo.
Yeah, and it's important that he keeps it going throughout the latter innings, the mid and the latter innings. As I said, the Tigers are looking for at least 6 innings out of Alfredo tonight. I'd like to see 7.
Shin-Soo Choo fly to center field, 0 for 1. High and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Choo, a one-time Cleveland Indian, 7 years there, signed a 7-year deal after the 13 season. Here's the 2-2. High fly ball toward left center field. Ghost is on the move. So is Davis, and Rajay runs it down to the warning track. Well, we know the Tigers had to make some moves today. Don't know if you've heard, but Aníbal Sanchez had to go to the disabled list along with Daniel Norris. So the Tigers have had to make some moves.
Yep, they weren't planning on either of those two up top. Daniel Norris, the oblique. It's a 6 to 8 weeks probably. Sanchez, hopefully he'll get back before the end of the season. I think he had that same thing last year. He seemed to get fatigued, and there you see who we're recalling. And made a trade for Randy Wolf, and he'll be starting on Saturday.
Meanwhile, Prince Fielder stands in. He bounced out his first time up. Valdez has been here with the Tigers earlier this year. Guido Knudsen will be making his major league debut. He popped him up. I mean, straight up. McCann discards the mask. 2 gone.
I tell you, that's not easy to catch those balls like that. James is getting to look like a real veteran doing it. They're looking at the Tigers bullpen. I'm talking about how important it is for Alfredo to go deep into this game. Heavily used. Blaine Hardy, 38 pitches a couple days ago. Al Albuquerque, I think he's been in like 4 or 5. So if he can go deep, and we can only have to use a couple of these guys today to get through this game, and everybody else gets a rest, and puts you in much better shape to win this series.
It's fouled back out of play. Tigers were kind of put in a tough spot in that respect because of the rain delay in game 1. Sanchez was not able to come back. Neither starter was. It was over 2 hours. So they had to piece that one together.
Well, umpires try not to, and the clubs try not to start games that they know that's going to happen. That's very unusual for that to happen. They tried to sneak it in. They got burnt by the weather, and everybody's hurt because of it.
Beltre is 0 for 1. He bounced out in the second inning. 11 homers this year for Beltre. Now the 1-1. Drill toward left center field. Ghosts on the move. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Alfredo Simon. Awfully good after 4.
Tigers made today, and they signed from Toronto. Randy Wolf turns 39 years old on Saturday, and he'll be starting on that day. Member of his 8th team in his 16th Major League season. He's been around. He's a veteran. He's a pro, and he knows what he's doing. He's got 2 Tommy John surgeries and still has the desire to pitch.
Perseverance. Meanwhile, Perez goes back to the mound, down 2-0. Tigers have Iglesias, Gose, and Davis. With Sanchez going on the DL, the Tigers felt they needed to make a move to get a veteran into the rotation. I mean, the options obviously were the young pitchers the Tigers have in their system.
Well, and I think the decision was made to not rush those guys at this point. There's a couple factors. You know, you have the people that are in AAA or AA that are on the roster. Then you have those that are not on the roster, which the Tigers would have to add them to the roster. And that's a whole nother subject. But I think overall the organization decided that this was the best way to go. And hopefully it works out.
So we'll see Wolf in that game on Saturday. That's the plan right now. 1-2 on Iglesias. Soft roller towards second. Odor throws him out. Tomorrow the Tigers play these Rangers at 7:08 p.m. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. With 1 out, here's Anthony Gose. He struck out against the left-hander Perez. That was back in the second. Perez desperately needs a quick inning here to get his pitch count into somewhat decent shape. There's a show of bunt, strike 1. We have seen Gose do a lot more of that recently, which is a good thing with his speed.
Yeah, he should, because it opens up that left side of the infield for him. He just slaps it by Beltre into the left field.
That entire series, Chris Bryant was about, I don't know, 5-6 feet onto the infield grass. Because of Gose's ability to bunt, he had that huge bunt in the 8th inning in game 1 in that series to start the winning rally.
I tell you, I was watching one of the bunt plays when Rizzo was in. I mean, he was way in. Go stand out there someday on the field and tell me how you feel.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2. 1-2 now on Gose. Anthony's been on base in 13 straight games. 5 hits in that Chicago series. Swings and misses, and Perez got his number tonight, 2 gone. Both of Perez's strikeouts have come against the Tigers' number 9 hitter.
Just pulls off that front shoulder a bit. He has a little bit of trouble with the lefties. You know, he's been working hard on trying to be more consistent, but it's tough. Lefty on lefty is tough. You don't get to see as many lefties as you do righties.
Gose came in 146 against lefties.
Yeah. He's got kind of a big swing, but I've seen him throttle it down a little bit as of late.
Davis over 2, pop-up ground out. 0-2. Whistled foul, back out of play. This is a 4-game series. The Tigers were scheduled to have an off day on Monday, but they'll be flying to Cincinnati to make up a rainout from earlier this year.
That's
1-2.
That's tough. That's you don't expect to do that. You have to make a quick 1-day trip down and back. You're looking to try and rest maybe one of your starters on a planned off day, but you have to make it up instead.
You're also giving up an off day late in the season, late August, which really hurts.
I think after this, though, with the Tigers, we look to have 2 more off days for the rest of the way. Something like that.
Yeah, the baseball schedule is
1 doubleheader.
Yeah, right. Schedule's unforgiving. Got that doubleheader against the White Sox. Wave and a miss. Rajay is out of there. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Martin Perez. His third strikeout. Simon goes back to the hill in the fifth. Law firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Meyer. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here at the ballpark, nice night for baseball. And the Tigers put up a 2-0 lead here in the ballpark tonight as Simon goes back to the hill. In the fifth inning, Mitch Moreland leads it off for the Rangers. And Moreland takes ball one inside.
I found it, by the way, the catch.
What'd you get?
Yeah, it's a catch. If the fielder has made the catch and drops the ball while in the act of making a throw, following the catch, the ball shall be adjudged to have been caught. I think that covers it.
Pretty much.
They must have cleaned it up since my days, and I got nailed for that.
So it used to be where you had to actually have the exchange to the hand.
Yeah, you had to take it out. I mean, that's a good example why you don't want to flip it. Again, you'll see someday somebody will get nailed for not catching that ball. They'll call it a no catch.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Mitch Moreland. Andrus and then Odor here in the fifth inning. There's the 2-1. Instead, Moreland steps out. Moreland reaching on an error by Kinsler, and that was in the second, and he's been the only base runner that Texas has had so far. He'll rip that one. Oh, another sprawling play at first, this time by Martinez.
Wow.
Miggy did it twice in Chicago, but how about Victor?
Well, Miggy's giving him a hand, and I'll tell you what, this is a great play. He looks really quick right here. There's a bullet. 3-1 count. Look how quick he is right here. He's down low. Oh,
whoa.
Quick hands. That's fun. Just a good eye. Knew where the ball was going to bounce. Put his glove right there, right into it. Takes it himself. He's going to get some love when he gets that dugout now.
Probably a double otherwise. Here's Elvis Andrus. Bender drops in for a strike. 0-1. Might be the hardest hit ball against Simon in this game.
Goes in my book as a C. I mean, he's just a ground ball.
0-2. So on your score sheet there, instead of putting 3U for 3 unassisted, you just simply have a C.
It's right by where the first baseman's standing. It is a C, which means there's a ground ball to the first baseman. Mine's cleaner. We've got sloppy scorebook over there.
A lot of guys love that play on the bench.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but you need a key to read your scorebook.
Oh.
Swing and miss, awkward swing.
Excellent pitch. Good hard inside. That's a reverse K, just like yours. Is that a swing or not?
Yeah, we'll call that a swing.
So that's just a regular K.
Regular
inside. K. Now this next time through the order, guys are looking out over the plate, looking for the curveball. He started with the splitter early in the game, went to his curveball a little bit. Now he's finishing with the fastball in.
4 strikeouts for Simon. Here is Rougned Odor, who struck out in the second. He'll pull that one to right field on a base hit. That'll be their first hit of the game. Odor's going to try for 2. He's testing the arm of Martinez. That's a bad choice. Oh, they called him safe. J.D. Martinez has 13 assists, and it looked like he had number 14. And Brad's going to look at this.
Well, it looked like he pulled his hand back, but J.D. perfect. Reverse pivot, got on top. This is right there. He tagged the chest and the hand got in there. Might be a good call.
This will tell us.
Yep, he got tricked.
Oh, he sure did.
Missed the arm. That's a good slide. That's the old trick slide.
You know, that's a good call by Vic Carpazza there. He was right on it. That's a pretty aggressive play there by Odor.
Very aggressive with 2 outs. He's a young kid and he's going to be aggressive. And he almost learned the hard way.
That is the first hit of the ball game now for the Rangers. 2-out double, and here is Will Venable.
He likes to swing early.
Ball 1.
Do you know Will Venable graduated from Princeton?
I do. Do you know what he majored in?
Yeah, I do. I got it written down.
Oh, you dog.
Anthropology?
Right.
Figures you'd know that.
He's an Ivy Leaguer.
That means you're smart, doesn't it?
Well, it should. There's a ball inside, and you got a lot of money.
Yeah. Expensive to go there. Put you in debt, huh?
Now, do you know what anthropology is?
It's the study of humanity.
Nice. What?
Cultural.
Very good.
I think was he in cultural, or what was the other one?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Geographical. I mean,
I'm just impressed that you knew that it's the study of humanity.
Okay, that's enough for Jeopardy tonight.
Meanwhile, 3-0 on Venable.
This might be an old intentional, unintentional. Maybe Simon likes the next matchup better.
And you probably couldn't blame him. He'll throw a strike. 3-1. Jimenez, the catcher, waiting on deck. He's a right-handed batter.
Right on right favors Alfredo Simon.
Venable with San Diego. 6 homers, 30 RBIs prior to the trade. And a high strike. 3-2. Venable thought he had a walk. Full count.
Some off speed diving into the ground here.
It took the 5th inning before the Rangers got their first hit of the game. The only other base runner they had was the error in the second. Tigers have a 2-0 lead. Single runs in the first and third for the Tigers. And there's the walk.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. So far, you got 94 miles an hour, the low of 70. The last one was 86. I think it was a splitter into the dirt.
So Simon now facing the number 9 hitter.
So far, 40% fastballs. Lots of off speed.
Jimenez struck out in the 3rd. Tying runs are on. Strike 1.
Well, in their Tigers meetings, and many major league clubs, when they meet with their pitchers about hitters, what their first pitch swing percentage. One of them is just first pitch, nobody on. One of their scenarios is first pitch, runners in scoring position, so they know whether they can get that strike down the middle or they need to be a nibbler, get it on the edges. Alfredo right now in the favorable count of no balls and 2 strikes.
Is it incumbent on the catcher to remember all those numbers and who does what in what situations?
I think pretty much all the catchers know. Yep. Yep, absolutely. They keep the pitcher to keep them reminded. They know what pitch they want to call when they're in this situation. Man on first and second, 2 out.
Well, the guy behind the plate tonight for the Tigers, James McCann, told me earlier this year that when he was in AAA, he kept a book on every single player in the International League that they faced and every single at bat from those players. I mean, it was a very sizable book, and so he is not adverse to doing all the work.
Yeah, we'd call that old-fashioned now because they have a computer system. It's called a BATS program. It logs every pitch of every major league game, and you can just go filter it out.
Swing and a miss. Jimenez out on strikes. 5 of them now for Simon. So the Rangers leave a pair. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Tigers in the middle of that wild card chase, Gibby, and they've certainly made some transactions of their own to try and get better.
Yeah, the big one is Cole Hamels. Everybody where's Cole Hamels going to go, and he's on to Texas. And they've really looked not only for this year but for the future by acquiring him. The other guy, Jake Diekman, there, he's got a lively arm. I'm surprised that they got him, but a lot of moves around baseball before the trade deadline, and they continue after.
Yeah, the trade deadline is kind of a misnomer because trades can be made after July 31st, I should say. The ball's hammered. Right center field. Long run. It's going to drop and go to the wall. Kinsler taking the turn. He's coming to third. Ian will dive in with a triple. Right out there to Triple's alley in right center field.
Yeah, it is a triple if it goes out there, and boy, he's just really continues to look good at the plate. Sits back on that backside. He's got the quick hands. You can see it's right off the sweet spot of the bat. That's a long way out there. Chu almost gets a beat on it, but can't catch up. Just kind of long leg glide right here.
So Kinsler has his 6th triple of the year. And now the Tigers in great shape to extend their 2-0 lead. They've got the middle of their lineup coming up, and now the infield coming in for Texas.
Yeah, I don't think you send him on contact here. You must make it go through.
Swing and a miss. It's going to be a little bit unnerving here if you're one of the infielders.
Yeah, I'm telling you, with Miguel up, my goodness. He hits the ball very hard.
There is action in the bullpen now for the Rangers. Patton, the right-hander, is heating up for Texas. Spencer Patton. Back up the middle into center, base hit. Nobody playing there. 2 batters into the 5th. The Tigers have a 3-0 lead. I think he's having himself a night.
Yeah, he's just got great mechanics, and he's just thinking middle all the way on this hole at bat. He gets the ball left out over the middle of the plate and just right up the middle. Just kind of waits on it, not trying to pull this ball. It's actually middle third. He makes it look so easy. Infield just opens up when you bring those infielders in tight.
That'll be his 59th RBI of the year. He's on base for the 3rd time tonight, and that'll bring in Victor Martinez. Tigers now have 6 hits. Victor looks at a strike, 0-1. Big night for Martinez as well. Single, double, and a great defensive play at first base. This is why the Tigers, who are in the wild card chase, yes, they came in 4.5 back, and yes, they have some teams to jump in that wild card race, but when you have an offense like this, if you can get any sort of pitching, you've got a good chance on any given night to win.
You're right, and hopefully we can stay on a roll with the bats. We can get our pitching back in order here after making these adjustments after the 2 injuries. And you get some decent pitching along with the hitting, you can run 5, 6 in a row, 7 out of 8, 9 out of 11. You know, it's a whole different ball game then.
Well, the Tigers have not won 3 straight since mid-June, and they're trying to do just that here tonight after sweeping the Cubs series. Swing and a miss, and so Victor goes down. First out. We check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Mario Prince Fielder was holding court before the game earlier today. A lot of the media asking him about his return to Detroit. He wasn't able to make the return to Detroit last May because of neck surgery. So he was asked this time around whether he was expecting boos or not. He said, "They booed me the last time I was here. Why would it be any different this time around?" And as you could hear from his first 2 at-bats, boos is what Prince got. Exactly what he expected. Back up to you.
Yeah, Trav, a little bit chilly here for Prince Fielder in his comeback to the Motor City.
Just letting him know they didn't appreciate it, I guess. But yeah, the players understand that. It hurts sometimes. Nobody wants to be booed.
Well, I'm sure you got booed on the road a lot. Did you make that?
I went through a year I got booed at home bad. When I left, it was a good riddance, but I deserved it.
But it served as motivation, I would think, didn't it?
Well, I mean, you're motivated regardless.
There is the shortstop Andrews to second one. That's going to be a double play. Nicely turned. 6-4-3, and the Tigers will get 1 run. 5 in the books. Now 3-0. Giants look to improve their playoff chances. They take on the wild card leading Pirates, followed by the Rangers and your Tigers. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go as well.
There's some good games right there. Giants and Pirates and the Tigers in Texas with playoff implications all over both of those games.
The time of the year where it really starts to get interesting.
Everybody weighing in on whether they think this team can do it or not, but it will be decided on the field.
Delino DeShields Jr. leads it off. Then Shin-Soo Choo and Prince Fielder, top three for Jeff Bannister. Simons 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
This is about, if you look a lot at Simon starts, that he runs into trouble where you want to get this first guy, keep throwing the ball with consistency as you have so far in the first 5 innings, get into the 7th.
High fly ball left field, playable. Rajay Davis plays it off to his left. 1 out. Shin-Soo Choo stands in.
Good, getting a little chilly tonight from what we've been playing in, and it's good. Pitchers like throwing in the cooler air. Just keeps them fresher.
September right around the corner. The weather chills down a bit. Although we never really had a hot, warm, extended stretch this summer here in Detroit.
Yeah, it's been pretty, it's been pretty humid and warm recently, but Tigers are out of town. It wasn't that warm in Chicago.
There's that Ephus, missed it high and away.
I think he wants to throw at least one of those a game. He enjoys it. Think about it, he throws one a game.
Well, if the manager enjoys it much.
No, especially he had a 2-0 count or a 3-0 count one time and threw one. But it has a purpose.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Yes, off-speed pitch there, 2 balls and no strikes with the 3-run lead. I think Brad would prefer something a little harder. Fastball right down the middle.
Choo with a couple of fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to left. Now he's gone 3-1. Choo had ankle and elbow problems last year in the 2014 season, which really slowed him down. Earlier this year, hit for the cycle.
Yeah, it started slow. He was putting a lot of pressure on him, he admitted, because of the big contract.
And there's ball 4. 1 out walk. Time for a game break now. Justin White. All right, Justin, thanks. Jackie Bradley Jr. got hot in the last game of that series here in Detroit and apparently hasn't slowed down.
Yeah, did you see the catch he made yesterday?
Yes. He can go get it, man.
Yes, he can.
Fielder fouls it back out of play. Well, Prince has had himself a really good year numbers-wise in terms of his batting average. He's been at or near the top most of the year, but he has dipped a little bit. 17 points in his last 24 games. He is 0 for 2 in this game.
Well, he's a guy that's played a lot of games. When he was back here with the Tigers, I think he played almost all of the games. Both years he was there. He had pretty good years. I mean, he had probably, 55, 60 home runs here. Over 200 RBI in the 2 years. But, unable to get it done during the World Series, but it takes many tries for many players before you can succeed in those situations.
Well, you bring up a good point, because in 2012 and then in 2013 he played an all 162 for the Tigers, and the year before that in Milwaukee he played an all 162.
But it'll catch up to you. And probably, I know he's had a neck surgery, which that's hard when you're a baseball player. You're swinging the bat, you have a fused neck. But he's come back this year and done well. You see Simon's pitch count by inning. But he's dangerous. Got to make a good pitch here.
Fought that one off.
There you see the comparison, the Kinsler Fielder trade. Worked good for both teams. Ian's been outstanding and good leadership this year. Really been on fire with the bat. And overall, just very steady, above average major league player. Brings it every day.
Chu will dive back in.
Only 3 steals for Chu this year. Don't know that they'd risk it down 3-0.
Well, the Rangers have had only one legit scoring chance, and that came with 2 outs in the 5th, a double and a walk. But then Simon struck out Jimenez, the number 9 hitter. High and away, 1-2.
Simon right there, Fielder just barely fouled the pitch off the previous pitch, so he went just a little higher to see if he could get him to bite. Little purpose pitch to see they don't come in on him somewhere along in this bat.
Chu aboard with the 1-out walk. The 1-2. Ground ball to first. That is a foul ball. So says the first base umpire, Brian Knight.
Wish it wasn't true, but just a little foul. Good Victor. He got good hands tonight, doesn't he? Ooh, that looked close.
I was thinking the same thing. It looked really close.
That's foul.
The 2 guys traded for each other, Kinsler and Fielder, both have 47 multi-hit games this year, which leads the American League. Prince tonight, though, is 0 for 2. And Chu is again chased back to first base.
Doesn't have a real big lead over there. But Simon choosing to throw over, and sometimes the pitcher will throw over just because he wants to freeze the hitter a bit. Hitters want to hit in these situations. Same when the pitcher holds the ball, you're a hitter, you try and time your blinks. You want to get caught blinking, and you know, it could get caught with your eyes closed. So sometimes you feel like you have to blink, so you just strain it. Do you ever do that? Strain to keep your eyes open?
Yeah, and I never considered that you have to time your blinks.
Well, if he holds you long enough, you've got to blink.
Right.
Got to refresh your eyes.
Unless you're a quick blinker. Again, the 1-2. Bouncing ball. This time, fair ball. Victor turns to second. Throws it off the bag. They called him out anyway. And a double play.
Going to get an argument here.
No question about that. Here comes Bannister saying, hold everything here. It looked like he had to be off the bag there, didn't it?
Yeah, but you know, there's a rule, and I don't know how it's rewritten this year, that you know, to avoid contact and the safety, that was the non-challengeable call.
The neighborhood play.
Neighborhood play.
They're going to look at this.
Well, we know we're going to get at least one. If I was Brad, I would be arguing the neighborhood deal. And this goes back to New York. They have a big replay room set up with monitors all over.
But here might be the difference. He was on the bag.
Yeah, but he comes off.
But I mean, in terms of the neighborhood play, he was standing on the bag. And a lot of times that's not considered the neighborhood play.
No, that throw took him off. But I think he's still on.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah, he might be still on anyway.
be hard to reverse right there. Yeah, he's on. And then again, the umpires right here, they have no say. They can't. They don't share information. They're on the headphones. They just go in, tell New York. And by the way, they're building one in San Francisco too. I think.
Are they really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're worried about if New York goes out. You know, they want to have a backup. They'll probably split the games, but they'll tell them what the manager's challenging, and they're just sitting there. They can't talk them into it, talk them out of it. New York makes the call. I believe there's one guy who's the supervisor of the group. They watch it together, but ultimately there's one guy who makes this call. It's going a little longer than we hoped.
This is ball and glove.
How do you say he's off the bag?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's I think
he's on it. He's just on it. If they get the same view that we got, that's a double play. And then if a manager comes out and disputes this, you're automatically ejected. Yep.
Out. Double play ends the inning. So Simon walks the batter, but pitching around that, he got the ground ball.
First inning, Nick Castellanos stays hot, scoring Miggy, RBI single. Then in the fifth, Miggy RBI, scoring Ian Kinsler. And Alfredo Simon, boy, has he been dominant tonight. Got all of his pitches working. That's a nice curveball there. Got the splitter. Love that good fastball inside right there. So things are looking good for the Tigers, and his pitch count only 84 pitches, 51 for strikes. So he's in good shape to move on in this game.
Well, we have a wall-side windows pitching change. It is 3-0 in favor of the Tigers here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And that's going to be it for the starter as Spencer Patton comes on.
24 games. The ERA is a little elevated right there. 27 strikeouts, 9 walks. A little tougher on right-handed batters. Lefties fare much better. Tigers only have 2 lefties in the lineup.
Nick Castellanos, couple of RBIs tonight for the Tigers. He spins one up there, but it misses, and the count is 1-1.
Fastball slider change from Patton.
Now the 1-1 pitch. 2-1 the count.
And just watching Nick, and we've been talking a lot about how he's progressed with his hitting. Just taking pitches better, put himself in way better situations and a better approach on the off-speed pitches.
That is slicing down the right field line. Wow.
And all these Tiger hitters, they got strength, so they're able to wait for a ball on the outside part of the plate and barrel it and hit it a long way. And that's hard to do. These guys have a natural and a special ability to do that.
And the Rangers bullpen has been pretty good of late. They've allowed just 3 earned runs in their last 23 2/3. Fill it now 3-2.
Well, Spencer Patton, just looking at him right here, he's got kind of a deceiving delivery. Looks a little different. And one of the things as a hitter, you got to readjust going from the lefty to the righty.
He laid off, and that's ball 4. Boy, Castellanos putting together good bat after good bat at bat. By the way, see the Tigers take on the Los Angeles Angels August 25th through the 27th. You'll get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, 4 drinks, all for just $19 per person. It's the Tigers Weekday Value Pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Are we going to do an outfield game this year?
I don't think it's in the works. Why, you want to do one?
Yeah, I want you to buy me the value pack. Nothing like the dogs here at America Park.
They are the best.
You know, back in the olden days, we used to have to sneak them into the clubhouse. There was no food in there.
How old are we talking about?
Back in, well, it was in the 80s, early 80s, but
I'm not sure that would qualify as the olden days.
Well,
but I get your point.
I mean, it's you busted my chops 35 years ago.
Well, I mean, olden days would kind of make you think 30s, 20s.
Well, in the Tiger Stadium days, how's that?
Okay.
So you had to sneak hot dogs in because there was no food in the clubhouse. And now they have it like a 5-course meal. Yeah.
Here's the 0-1. Bunted nicely down the third base line. Forget about it. Or maybe. Oh, he got it. What a play by Beltre.
Yeah, he's as good as they come.
I thought for sure he was going to eat that one, but apparently not. In the meantime, the runner advances to second.
Not a bad play right here. Getting the guy over for sure. Trying to sneak attack. Ball actually rolled a little farther than James had hoped. Good try. Does get a sack for that probably. Did you hear?
Yep. Well, I didn't hear it, but I'm sure they gave him a sack. We're seeing more and more of that, even though he clearly was bunting for a base hit.
Yeah, Adrian Beltre is. He's had a few of those in his career. What is he, about 17 years now? 13, 17?
At least. That's a really good play. Ball 1. '18th year for Beltre. Ball 2 outside to Jose Iglesias.
He started in L.A., didn't he?
Yeah, he had that really, really big year where he was second in the MVP voting, and that earned him a huge contract with Seattle.
And he went to Boston.
And then Texas. Here's the 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Iglesias.
What do we got here? 3-0.
With Iglesias? You mean is he swinging?
Got a nibbler.
Oh.
This guy teaching. Come on.
You put that one on a tee for me. Nibble, nibble. Right on the outside corner. 3-1. Fly out, ground out for Iglesias. Goes on deck. Tigers trying to build on their 3-0 lead. And a strike call. Iggy was on his way to first.
Yeah, he knew it might get called, though. The ball was moving off, but borderline call. It's maybe on the corner. You see the catcher pull it in about 8 inches. The art of framing.
Now the 3-2. We'll get back out of play. For as much as Iglesias goes the other way, and he does that quite a bit, they are playing the second baseman Odor pretty much up the middle.
Yeah, and their chew is a little deeper than most teams. Most teams are way over on the outfield, the right field line. They'd normally be over in this area right here. Because he drops a lot of balls in there in short right field. He's going to stay on it. There you see by direction his hits on the year. Pretty evenly matched, but I say the ones that he pulls are usually earlier in the count. Right now he's going to wait and stay on the ball a little longer, a little deeper in the zone.
In on his hands, rolled it down to third base. Beltre is going to tag the runner.
Yeah, that wasn't a good play there. They made a good pitch on him right there, I'll tell you that. They threw the ball away the previous pitches. Put it right in on his hands. Beltre's in the middle of everything this inning.
2 outs.
Yeah, generally you don't want to go on this. I think Nick might have read it as third baseman had to go in farther, Beltre, but he held his ground and an easy out.
So Anthony Gose will step in, and he is pleased to see Perez out of the ball game because Perez struck him out twice. He'll go up against a right-handed pitcher here. One ball, no strikes.
Good time to steal with 2 outs, although you got to get a good lead. Patting his average around 1.4. I'm reading here in the data book.
I was thinking the same thing. Iglesias with 11 steals this year.
Jimenez is around a 2. So if you add that up, possibility.
Go for it.
Generally try and pick a off-speed pitch. Really makes your odds of making it greater.
Foul tip 1-2. Jimenez 0 for 8 in throwing out runners this year.
See, the Tigers have stolen 5 in the last 4 games, 6 in the previous 19.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He dusted him. The fastball up. No runs, a walk, and the Tigers will leave a man. Beltre, good play. Helped out the cause here for the Rangers. Throwing out McCann. At Comerica Park, Tigers happy to be home after that long road trip. It'll be Adrian Beltre to start things off here. The active home run leaders, and a couple of guys in this series have gone over 400 this year.
Well, you see Miggy and Adrian Beltre tied, and I think their RBIs are what, 5 apart.
The eerie thing is they each hit their 400th this year 1 day apart.
Oh, Beltre's played much longer than Miguel.
Good pick with the bare hand there.
The bare hand and something in his other hand.
Yeah, very nicely done. That phone will start going off any minute now.
Oh yeah.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Alfredo had 86 pitches here in the 7th inning. His top pitch count this year is 111. He's done it a couple times. So a good position to go deeper into this game.
That's in there, 1-2. Alfredo coming into this start had an ERA of 5.90 in the second half. He's turned that around tonight.
So far so good.
Anthony Bass warming up.
Wayne Stater.
Yeah, that is popped up left side. And 1 gone. Here's Mitch Moreland. Moreland was robbed in his last at bat. He had an absolute bullet down the first base line. Victor Martinez just 1 step to his right was able to backhand it. Made a terrific play.
Yeah, he's ready this time. Victor is. He got woken up last time.
Here's a strike call.
Moreland was up in the count. I think it was a 3-1 count as well. So better situation here. No balls on a strike.
Moreland last year played in just 52 games with an ankle problem. Here's the 0-1. Popped up left side of the infield. Iglesias under it. 2 gone. Boy, Simon has just really put together one of his best starts in a while, to be honest.
Yeah, we needed to keep going though. The Tigers bullpen needs to be rested. Do a lot for Alfredo Simon the deeper he goes into the game too, as he looks towards his next start.
Well, if he can get another quick out here, give him maybe another inning, that'd be nice.
Some more confidence. You try and get that rhythm, and you've seen him just have that rhythm. There's a curveball there. We're trying to figure out. He's throwing more curveballs tonight. This is the best curveball I've seen him have this year. We've done many of his games. To go along with the split and a good live fastball tonight.
Elvis Andrus 0 for 2. Rangers have only 1 hit. Ball high.
Take a look at this curveball grip. You see it right on the side of it. Gets it out front. And good depth and good break on that vertical and horizontal break.
Now the 1-1. It'll bounce in to the backstop. It goes.
Some batting lessons going on there. Omar giving Miggy some batting lessons.
Now, before you laugh at that, consider that Omar had 2,800 big league hits.
I am, but I can tell those guys are having some fun in there. He's making me laugh just with the look on his face. I tell you, I played many games against Omar. He's a great player. I'm well aware of that.
It's fouled back out of play.
I was telling him in the locker room before the game that really I know he works hard at the base running aspect of his responsibility. And I know it made him feel good the way the Tigers ran the bases in this last road trip, really the whole trip, but especially in the last series against the Cubs. Got to convince him and the players to do that, and they trust him, and On their way they go.
Ground ball, third base side. Castellanos has it. And Andrews is out. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Simon coming up the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you as always by our friends at T-Mobile.
There you have it.
Well, another wall side windows pitching change. And here is Trenton native Anthony Bass.
Yep. We talked earlier, went to Wayne State, drafted in the 5th round in 2008 with San Diego, had a good career there. Now over here with the Rangers.
Pride of the Warriors. It's the highest draft pick ever out of Wayne State.
Been over that field? It's kind of a little mini Fenway, isn't it?
It's a great field. It's a little mini Fenway. Got the big green monster on left. There's a drive to center field, base hit. And Rajay taking the turn, coming to second. Throws high, tag is down, safe. Lead up double.
Tell you, Vic Carpazza down there, he's had some plays at second base. Every time he makes a call, the managers are looking towards the phone. Raji jumps the first pitch from Anthony Bass. Welcome home. Good slide, nice and low, back edge of the bag. And he's in there. If you're watching him from all the way, he went hard out of that box the whole way. That's what makes him safe. That finishes it with a good slide.
So now the Tigers have a leadoff double. Here is Ian Kinsler. Tripled in his last at bat. Ball one.
Let's take a look. Here's Rajay out of the box. The right hand side. Good tight turn here. Outside foot. That's the subject we need to talk about. Inside foot, outside foot. Many of us were taught inside foot, but the outside foot is the way to go. It's a shorter route. You run a way shorter distance. By the way, that was 7.6 seconds from home contact to the bag.
Rajay picking him up and laying him down.
We call that tuck and glide.
Who called it that?
That's what I call it. Figure it out. That's what you do. Well, you tuck and you glide. Oh, look at there. He was trying to time him up there.
Ooh, that was close.
He almost had it timed up there. That's a pretty good technique. But Bass did a good 2-look. Caught him trying to attack him right there. Oh, barely got in there. Look at him blocking the bag. Actually, if that odor on the bag, if he stays deeper on the bag, they probably get him. But he's out in front. The ball travels quicker than the glove can.
Meanwhile, 2-0 on Kinsler. Rajay has 17 steals. Kinsler, ground ball left side. Andrews surrounds it. Rajay trying to get to third. Here comes the throw across the diamond, and he's going to be safe. Beltran able to hold on to it.
This is a good play by Rajay because there's nobody out. Another run is big, and you're trying to increase the probability of scoring one run. So in doing so, man on third with one out, you're going to have a higher probability than man on second, one out. Good slide again by Raj. Legs are feeling good, aren't they?
Yeah, the long road trip not bothering Davis, nor was the late arrival time. Miggy will not hit. They're going to walk him intentionally. So that means he'll be on base for the 4th time in this game.
Challenging that arm of first baseman tonight.
Intentional walk number 14 for Cabrera is in progress here. Victor Martinez on deck. Like Maddox coming out.
All right, so I'm bringing the run matrix out again tonight just to show you. We all kind of know that you're going to have a higher probability of scoring, but how much? If he stays on second, 41% chance of scoring a run. Almost was that 15% greater chance by him going to third base. Now the Rangers have countered by walking Miggy, and they're looking for the double play. So now we're down here at first and third, still 62% of scoring that run. It's good stuff.
It's only a matter of time.
I love the matrix.
Before the matrix came out. Well, they've increased their chances of scoring here. And here's Martinez. And Victor's had himself a pretty good night too. Single double. Batting average of 249, 52 RBIs. Way outside, 1-0. Bass, meanwhile, looking to get out of this jam with the ground ball. Bass played his college ball, or I should say high school ball, at Trenton High School. Then, as we mentioned, went on to Wayne State. He was the conference pitcher of the year in 2008 with the Warriors. Here's the 1-0. Pulled foul. Right by Vizquel in the coaching box at first. Tigers 7 hits tonight. The Rangers have only 1 against Alfredo Simon, who has been dominant this evening. Bass with the 1-1. Good rip there by Victor. He fouls it straight back, 1-2. Bass got to the big leagues in 2011, his first year in the majors with San Diego. Appeared in 27 games and had a really good ERA of 1.68.
Yep, the fastball slider guy, occasional change in the, pitching in San Diego will make a lot of guys throw the ball good, huh? Of course, they have shrunk the field down a little bit, but it's a good place to pitch, and he did pitch well.
Here's the 1-2. Good block there by Jimenez. 2-2.
A nice slider down and in. Those are hard to lay off of. You get excited, get some energy in your body when you're up in this situation. This is big for the Tigers. Here we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. That one big run is what they need right now. They're up 3 already. You just try and add one at a time as you get later in the game. Go to the top of the 8th with at least a 4-0 lead. Big.
Bass ready with the 2-2. High fly ball. Right center field. Chu coming over, and it's the Shields. Runner will tag. Davis is coming home. He will score. Sac fly. RBI for Victor Martinez.
That's good at bat there. He laid off the slider down and in, and he knows with Raji on third base, you don't have to get it that deep. And this is a pretty good pitch. Hard pitch to lay off of. Good velocity to try to go up and in. He gets on top of this ball, gets the sac fly, gets the run in.
53 RBIs for Martinez. 2 away. Cabrera holding at first base. Here's J.D. Martinez. Martinez, a couple of walks in this game, both early, versus the starter Perez. Ball 1 to J.D. Wondering what the Astros must have felt like on this last road trip for the Tigers. J.D. came in there and they got a good view of his numbers put up on the scoreboard every time he came to the plate.
Yeah, you make mistakes along the way. You also have some successes, and they've done a pretty good job of their success side of it as well. But a lot of it just had to do with they were rebuilding and they had to make a decision. You can't keep everybody. And at the time they made the decision they thought was best, and it worked out very well for the Detroit Tigers.
Here's the 1-1. Checked it. Did not go.
You notice that Bass has thrown many fastballs. You see the target up and in. Likes to pound it in there.
High fly ball, center field. The Shields on the move. He'll get under it for a towering out. Tigers add another though. 7 in the books, 4-0.
Neftali Feliz with the cover tonight. B-Mark takes it himself. And Miggy loved it. And Tigers lead now, top of the 8th, 4-0.
So Alfredo Simon, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. It'll be the bottom 3, Odor, Venable, and Jimenez facing the right-hander. One ball to no strikes. Odor had a double in the 5th inning. And that remains the only hit that the Rangers have had in this game. It was an aggressive double as well, hit down the right field line.
See Alfredo Simon stretching his arms out a little bit. Keep an eye on that.
And is in there a strike.
He's got so much movement on all of his pitches tonight. That was a fastball and almost ran out of the zone.
Strike call. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got a little action down in the bullpen. Alex Wilson. Tom Borzolani as well.
Drilled to center field, and that's going to be caught by the center fielder Ghost. There have been some hard hit balls tonight, but fortunately for the Tigers, right at him.
You're right. He centered that one right there. Right to Ghost. You see the bullpen action. I'm sure that Brad would love to get Simon through this inning. Get your he's at 100 pitches, by the way, right now. There you can see him by inning. Get your pitchers right to the edge of hot, so they're not totally hot. And if you don't have to use them, you get to, it's almost not a day off, but it's better than getting totally hot and then having to come into a game.
It is fouled down the left field line. Will get back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Venable, a ground out and a walk. High fly ball. Shallow left field. That'll be routine for Rajay Davis, who makes the play. There are 2 gone now. I'll bring a group of your colleagues to see the Tigers take advantage of the team bullying package. Team building package, I should say. Game tickets, t-shirts, and food for only $34 per person, 4 games. To choose from, visit tigers.com/group for more information. You got the anti-bullying thing, and I kind of mixed them up. Team building package. Here's a high pop-up. It'll be down the third base line. And boy, Simon, how about this? Castellanos makes the play. Going to be a 1-2-3 inning.
See if he wants it.
8 strong for the right-hander Alfredo Simon. 4-0 in favor of the Tigers. brand of baseball here this evening in their first game back after that long road trip. So they've kind of piggybacked the momentum they got in Chicago with the 2 wins there, and they lead 4-0 here tonight. They'll try and add some more here in the bottom of the 8th. There's a first pitch outside from the right-hander to Nick Castellanos, who has had a couple of RBIs tonight. Drove one in with a single and also one with a sac fly. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nick. 60 driven in now for Castellanos.
We talked about him in the open. He's had another good game for the Tigers.
Bass came on in the 7th inning, gave up a double, walked a batter intentionally. 1 run they got against him on the sac fly. 2-1 on Nick. Tigers with a victory here tonight, a chance to get to 59 and 61. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball toward third base, and Beltre.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. Again, Nick Castellanos first, plates RBI single, plates Miggy. Into the 3rd. Sac fly gets Miggy home as well. Miggy going to get tired. Continues to have a good season. Continues, and again 32 RBI since July 1st. That's second amongst all third basemen, most RBIs in the American League.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson having a year. There's a strike called on McCann.
Had pretty good offense over there in Toronto too.
They do indeed. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2 on McCann. Sacrificing his last at bat. He's 0 for 2 otherwise. Now the 0-2. Ooh, all the way to the backstop.
That'll wake you up.
Action in the Tigers pen. There is Bruce Rondon.
Tigers bringing him along as a closer. So if they're going to stick to the closer rule, he probably would not come in until they get the tying run in the on deck circle.
Foul tip into the glove. McCann is the second out of the inning. It'll be the first strikeout for Bass.
Hey, James, to give him credit, he's caught a lot of games, and that short turnaround from Chicago to here is he's sucking it up tonight. I'll tell you that. Not as easy as it looks.
Here's Jose Iglesias. In there, strike 1. Lifted in the air down the line. This ball is hooking, but it's going to be caught on the run by Venable. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. 8 in the books. Alfredo Simon coming back out for the 9th. Can he finish it off? To the Texas Rangers, and Alfredo Simon going to go out there and try and get a complete game.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty efficient so far. As you said, only one hit. Simon's walked 2, so they've left all 3 of those runners on. Texas has.
He's got the top of the lineup to deal with here. It's Delino DeShields Jr. who looks at a strike 0-1.
To the Rangers, most of the time you'll take a strike, especially against a guy like Simon, who not known for throwing a lot of strikes. 105 total pitches, 65 for strikes.
There's a bouncer to Romine, who makes a diving stop. He came in for defensive purposes, and that's why. 1 gone.
That is a good play right there. Like you said, brought Andrew Romine in, and very quick right there. Puts the hand out. Good live arm across the diamond. Brad Ausmus really understanding, I think, how to use his pieces. Doesn't have a lot of them. Only got 3 guys on the bench. Vila and Romine. They got 3. Who am I missing?
Well, Marte was sent back down. The Tigers with Tyler Collins.
Yeah, Tyler Collins. That's what I'm missing. So when you start using your pieces there, when you have the lead in general, you go for it, which Brad is doing.
Shin-Soo Choo, the batter. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wonder how far Brad will let Simon go.
.108 right now in the pitch count total.
Now, if they had that normal off day on Monday, they would you'd let him go further, but that's not the case since they have the makeup game.
111, the season high. Done that a couple of times. Chu had a base on balls in his last at bat. Ground ball to first, deep behind the bag. Victor Bobbles, and he has no play. Unable to come up with it. It'll be an error. E3. Well, follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. The bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Again, MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablets.
That was a tough play right there. A lot of top spin. Victor had to back up on it. Couldn't find the handle. Unfortunately, can't make the play.
So Prince Fielder now, who knocked into a double play in his last at bat, 3-6-3. Ball 1. Ripped towards second and caught. Runner gets back. So there are 2 gone.
Smart play by Ian Kinsler not to throw that ball. You take your outs one at a time. You have a 4-0 lead. They only have 1 out left. Don't want to throw it away and throw it into the back of that runner. See, Chu gets back right here. He's right in the way. Keep at first base, still have the throw across the diamond, or the play at second base on the force out.
Here is Beltre, the last chance now for the Rangers. Ball 1. 119 pitches is a career high for the right-hander Simon. He's at 113 right now.
And this would be his first complete game.
He's He's gone 6 starts with 8 innings, but he's been marvelous tonight. And he's trying to finish it off here against Beltre. Runner goes. Ooh, Beltre swinging on a ball at his cap.
I think he was trying to protect Chu. This ball is way out of the zone. And when you're the hitter, you can see somebody going. A lot of times you see a guy going, you think you might have missed a sign, but I can't figure that out with the score the way it is. 2 outs. Tigers were not holding Chu.
Missed it inside. 2-1. It's only the second runner to second base for the Rangers. They have not gotten a man to third tonight.
Decisions, yep.
Trying to win their 3rd in a row. Here's the 2-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle should do it. Iglesias. Beltre is out, and Alfredo Simon a complete game shutout. And the Tigers keep their momentum. 3 consecutive wins.